Yo, 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 what's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Mikey Raider. Hopefully, today's video live stream comes to you with not as many problems as I foresee, whether it be online in stream quality. But my technology is forever changing, and I never know what works on what day or what not. But this is the Raider Football Talk live show. I need to do more of these and often. Please forgive my disappearance, but your boy has a bunch of issues, and sometimes he struggles with actually putting in work to make no money on YouTube. So that's why I have to live off your support, your love, your respect, your donations on this channel. So please do me a favor, consider hitting that subscribe button, consider hitting that membership button, becoming a member of this channel to buy me some tacos. And hopefully, I earned your love and your respect while we talk about Raider football this upcoming entire offseason. And I want to come to a live stream every week, normally on Fridays, but I've been struggling. But I promise you guys, we're going to get some more live streams going in the days ahead and the months ahead while we go into this off season. Now, let me pay my respect to the people that are the early birds that hit the bell for notifications that are online. We got my boy representing everywhere, Rebel Raider. Jimmy G likes to eat cornstar. ASS. Ricardo Estrada. Hope you're doing good. I'm not, but I am now. Frost WSA, my partner in crime, always online. CUT, Jimpy G, problem solved. Dominique 5, love seeing your names. Would love to see y'all faces, but appreciate seeing you guys online and saying what's up. During today's live stream, consider super chatting, asking some questions, and other than that, I appreciate it. We got an interesting show today. I hope it all works out in terms of technology because I already see a delay right now as I'm talking with the green screen background. But we're going to try to watch a podcast from Antonio Pierce that apparently made everybody feel some sort of way. I have not watched it. I've been looking forward to doing it. And we're going to do that on today's live stream. But we might have tech issues, and you could already see Fox Mulder, because the truth is out there. We got a little bit of latest Raider news coming through post Super Bowl. I just did a podcast on my career channel, my Haybauer channel, where I spoke about the halftime show, decoded it, and the conspiracies in my perspective. I just finished doing a show a couple hours ago on my channel, Haybauer, at youtube.com/Haybauer, HEYBOWER. Consider checking out that video if you want a lot more conspiracy and unique talk. Plus, I had beautiful girls on there that I interview weekly. Check that one out. Did I sleep with all of them? You be the judge. We got Richard Lyon, Mikey Shalhoub, brother, Rebel Raider. Football is DEAD. Now we got to deal with the queefs. Yeah, that's right. And again, if you want me to talk about that Super Bowl conspiracy in Las Vegas and the halftime show, watch my video that I made on my other channel. We're not going to get into that today. We're going to do some Raider talk today. There is some latest news going on with the Raiders. We're going to watch, hopefully have no problems with watching the Antonio Pierce Pivot podcast, which apparently is a really good one, about learning about who Antonio Pierce is, since he's been making the rounds on every podcast, every media circle. And I'm not saying that Antonio Pierce wants to be famous, but he is not turning away the opportunity to become famous. I don't know if that's a problem, but it's not until it is. That being said, I want him to be a coach. I don't want him to be famous. I want him to be famous. I mean, I don't want him to be famous for podcast and talking in terms of the media. I want him to be famous for victories and championships for the Raiders. Um, Also, we got some Jimmy G information that came out. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but my screen went black. So forgive me. Let me hope it comes back. You guys let me know if you could still see me and hear me, but my entire technology screen went black. So please, somebody let me know in the chat room. It goes back on stage. You disappeared, but I hear you. All right, let me add this to the stage and see if I can come back. We can hear you, not see you. All right, let me refresh my screen and hopefully it comes back. Sorry, guys. Let me add this to the stage.
Yes, sir. Good, Coach. Yeah.
And then let me leave the studio and hopefully come back and it's still playing. Give me a couple seconds, guys.
Sure. You got it. One of us.
Different.
Okay, I hope I'm back, guys. I had to leave the studio and try to come back in and see what happens. Hopefully everybody's still online. Forgive me. I don't know what happens. Let me see if I can bring that video footage again of the podcast. And then we can start talking. Okay. Why are you bringing back the old intro that you had? Miss you, brother. When you bringing back the old intro? I don't know what intro you're talking about, Lewis. You were back, Mikey. Thank you. Okay, thank you, guys. Okay, so we're going to talk about the little bit of Jimmy G latest news that came across the other day. And many people think of it as a good thing, but there's a lot of implications on money and monetary value and about Jimmy G possibly being released in the next couple days or weeks before the draft. But there is possible conspiracy behind that and where the Raiders might have had motive to do something into that aspect. So we're going to talk about that. Then we're also going to break down Luke Getsy. He had a press conference the other day, and I enjoyed it. We're not going to watch it live because I think we're having tech issues with all this stuff. But we're going to talk about Luke Getsy and the system he's going to bring with the Raiders based off of what he said in his press conference. And it's going to be a fun live stream. So if you guys got any questions, you want to give some feedback during today's show, let me know. And Richard Lyon said, Mikey, I think he's talking about, that's right. I could put your guys' stuff on screen. When are you going to bring back the old intro? And he said he thinks he's talking about my raps. Yeah, calling out to Raider Nation crew. We're going to make it all happen. Yeah, I can't play that song, man. And my technology, it doesn't work anymore. Because technology has updates and nothing works on my old PC anymore. It just really doesn't. Even this StreamYard has a lot of issues. When years ago, it would work perfectly. Rebel Raider, why did we get the worst Oshie we could? I don't like the Getshi hire. Interesting. All right. So before we get into the Pivot podcast, because that's where we might hit a lot of technology issues of watching the Antonio Pierce podcast, um, let's talk about the subjects for today's show, the main subjects I wanted to talk about. And if I leave the live stream early, guys, it's because my body and my brain is feeling some sort of way because I've been live streaming basically for about 6 hours now. And I start to get a little bit weird the longer I do it. But here we go. Let's talk. Let me bring up the banner, the Bruce banner. Let me bring that so get everybody noticed through that. Now let's talk about this Jimmy G situation that just occurred. So the timing of this is understandable, but also very scary. Just days after the Super Bowl, now that we're signing a new offensive coordinator, we officially got Antonio Pierce as our head coach, and the quarterback questions are starting to come per the NFL draft. All of a sudden, news came the other day, I believe it was on Thursday or Friday, from Adam Schefter that apparently Jimmy Garoppolo tested positive for PEDs. Okay, well, they're probably not the PEDs we all think about when we hear that, like steroids or this or that. But apparently, this is the story. Jimmy Garoppolo had a prescription filled, and apparently that prescription was filled by doctors. Was it team doctors? Was it outside doctors? I don't know. I don't know what the prescription was, but the prescription held a substance that is on the PED list. But the prescription or the substance is actually allowed on the PED NFL list if they have approval from the NFL per knowledge of that subject or that substance coming into his possession. They need some sort of a form or permission to do that substance that was prescribed, but they need the permission from the NFL. I might not be saying this correctly, but that is what I got from the reports. So, the prescription is okay, but it has a banned substance in it. But Jimmy Garoppolo, if he would have seeked out permission, he could have used that substance and been okay. But he didn't seek out permission, and it was found. Now, here is where the questions need to be asked. The end result is he's probably going to be cut from our team. Now, this gives us a contractual obligation to cut him because he violated the contract with the PEDs. So we're probably going to save the $12 million by releasing or cutting him prior to the fourth day of the new year, which is like March 14th or something of that nature. So the outcome makes us all happy. And I'm happy as well because we're saving money and we know we're moving in a different direction at the quarterback prospect. So Mark Davis is somehow going to save 11 point whatever million on cutting Jimmy Garoppolo if they can officially cut him based off of violating this contract or this scandal. But technically, he's been banned or barred for 2 games from this announcement from Adam Schefter. So, But let's get back to the questions about the substance and why now and who's behind it and when did this happen. Well, they test for PED every so often and at random, from my recollection. Do they do it during the off season? They may do it. Maybe this just recently happened in this off season. That entrusts us with the questions on when did he get tested and when did Jimmy Garoppolo fail. That is knowledge that needs to be told to us. Because did this happen during the season? And why is the information barely coming out now? Did he get tested in the off season last year? And is the information coming out now? Did he get tested during the season, like I just said, and the information's coming out now that they're doing their reports? Or did it happen in the off season? They haven't had any workouts that I know of. Did it happen at his home in the off season or around Super Bowl time? That the Super Bowl's in Vegas. And now the information is coming out. Let me respect this from Big Joe, 67. Have a Coca-Cola and chips on me, brother. Well, I cannot drink caffeine because it kills my heart. But I do have it every once in a while, but it crushes me. And potato chips have sodium, and they crush my blood pressure as well. I'm dealing with some stuff. But Joe, this will buy me a couple of tacos, maybe pay a bill, maybe pay a part of my internet, and I appreciate it. Big Joe, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. Big Punisher and Big Joe. Big Punisher and Big Joe. Thank you very much, brother. I messed up during the Super Bowl, Big Joe. I drank a lot of rum and pineapple, and I made loaded nachos. You know how I make a recipe every year for the NFL draft on this channel, which I've kind of missed doing a couple of times, but I still do it. But I made a ultimate nacho recipe for the Super Bowl because it was also my birthday the next day. That's why forever I've been wishing the Raiders would be in the Super Bowl this year, because my birthday was the next day on February 12th, and I turned 49 years of age. Doesn't that suck that the 49ers are in the Super Bowl and I turned 49? But I've been dreaming of this day, of the Raiders playing in Vegas in the Super Bowl on my birthday, but it didn't happen. But I got crunk. I got messed up. You guys probably saw the video I made live that day where I had to go to an event to see my brother, and I didn't go because I got too messed up. I overdid it. I made bad choices, and I didn't recover for 4 days. But thank you so much for the donation, and expect a NFL draft recipe, Raider-oriented, for the NFL draft coming up on this channel. Thank you, Big Joe. Now, back to the Jimmy G conspiracy timing of the event. When did this happen? I'm happy it happened. I want to save money and move on from Jimmy G. So don't take no hatred from this. But I ask questions. First off, what is the substance that should have been approved by the NFL that wasn't? It was a prescription filled by what doctors? The Raider doctors? And when did it happen? Because if you put all the pieces together, Mark Davis wants to save money. The Raiders are going to move on from these quarterbacks and probably draft some. And they want to move on from Jimmy G. And if you look at it in the totality, how can they release Jimmy Garoppolo and save money? Because they're not going to get anything in a trade for him. how can they come up or make something out of nothing? Well, this is the way. No pun intended. This is the way. He gets a prescription filled by maybe the Raider doctors with a substance in there that he didn't know about it because he's trusting the Raider doctors. Again, this is allegedly, these are hypotheticals, and I no disrespect toward our Raiders. If they did this, this is a genius move. This is a genius, possibly deceitful move, but they're creating something in a genius manner. Was it the Raider doctors that prescribed it? What was the substance? And then on top of that, did they know? Did they contribute to it? The Raiders entities, the new general manager, that will be Mark's stepping stone as he's thankful to have a job? Was it? I'm just saying, if you put all the pieces together until we get more information, this could possibly be a maniacal genius move by Mark Davis and or any of the Raiders entities to save money, get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo per the contract, and move on while their hands are clean, because it's a substance that Jimmy Garoppolo got caught with that's on the list. That's the conspiracy, guys. Do you think it holds any weight? I'm being honest. It's genius. It's a genius move if they conspired or somebody conspired to do all of this. Could Jimmy G have done it himself? You have to ask that. Why? He probably doesn't want to be a Raider anymore. He wants to get out of his contract before the draft so he can get signed by a team. He wants to get another contract, maybe make more money, and he wants to go to a different team that believes in him. Jimmy G could have manipulated this whole thing. It's pretty interesting, guys. It's really, really interesting. So I want to know from your perspective, because you guys are a lot more clear-headed than I am at most of the times. Is this a conspiracy? Do you think what I just spelled out happened? And if it was it done by the Raiders, Mark Davis, or Jimmy G himself? Please let me know. And let me read those comments right now while we talk. Rebel Raider said, caffeine-free chips, Mikey, and low sodium. Yeah, I don't like diet soda. I don't like the way it tastes. I do like ginger ale, but it has sugar. And I have diabetes too, so sugar is really bad for me. You get the picture. Richard said, I missed Mikey's London show. I think it's still online, maybe in clips, man. That's why the AP hire worries me at Dominique. I don't know what he spoke about earlier. Let me see. There we go. When players vouch for coaches, it never works. Put an example. Baker Mayfield wanted Kitchens. Derek Carr wanted Downing. Kyler Murray wanted Cliff Kingsbury. Very good point, Dominique. Very good point. I understand that, Richard, but does that equal us in the playoffs? Only time will tell. AP loves the Raiders. That was his team growing up. That was in reference to that. Sorry, guys. My nose is itching. Rebel, I agree. We don't know, but we should give him a chance. John Carl with the nickname Jimmy Guici. Hey, guys. Again, does that conspiracy hold any weight from the Raiders or Jimmy G? Or you honestly don't care because we're going to possibly get rid of Jimmy G and save money? Let me know your honest opinions on that. That being said, Like, however it happened, it'll probably be good for the Raiders long term. So, interesting. Is Jimmy G the worst Raider signing of free agency of a quarterback in their history? The worst? You guys let me know. We can't add Jamarcus Russell. He was a draft pick. I'm just talking about in free agent quarterback signings. Did Jimmy G end up being the worst? And he still led the league in interceptions after only playing 6 games, I think it was. Pretty interesting. He'll get his chance to show. He'll get his chance this year, and Max will get his chance to finally get over 15 sacks and be worth his contract. Yeah, I loved Max Crosby during Super Bowl week and all the interviews. And there's a reaction video of Max Crosby watching the Chiefs win. And he somewhere spoke that he was rooting for the Chiefs to win. And Max Crosby, because he wanted to play and beat the Chiefs again next year, so he wanted the Chiefs to win. And then there's a video of the Chiefs winning, and he's next to his friends. Some of them are wearing Raider hats, and they're literally rooting on the Chiefs. That was hard to watch. But when the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, Max is like, I think technically he wanted them to lose and still beat them next year. So he technically wasn't rooting on the Chiefs. But it was a pretty funny video to watch, man. Like, I love Max. I love everything he's about. But he's definitely, after 4 or 5 years, he's building his brand. And some of the things and the decisions and the things he's saying publicly, they're coming off a little strange. But at the end of the day, the guy still is the ultimate Raider right now. And he's still the baddest and best dude we got on our team. And I love everything he brings to this team. And I would not want to see him on any other team. But he's definitely building a brand and knowing that it's got to happen now. I just hate when fame goes to people's heads. When they like the limelight for fame sake instead of, championship sakes. But for all intensive purposes, Max Crosby looks like he's doing it for championship purposes and to get fame for the Raiders as well. So I can respect that. Sorry, Richard Lyon said, I don't care. Honestly, you don't care about the Jimmy Garoppolo thing. Rebel Raider. The Raiders made a great move if it was intentional. Yeah, but it's still kind of evil. It's kind of evil, guys. But that would inspire the old school Raiders of doing anything to just win, baby. Getting rid of a quarterback with PED scandals. Pretty interesting, guys. In my opinion, close to the worst. So who's the worst, Richard? Rebel Raider said Hostetler, maybe. I enjoyed Hostetler, guys, for a few years. I enjoyed him. I got a jersey of him somewhere. Yeah, I forgot about him, Richard. Here we go. Rebel, to me, the worst quarterback was Kerry Collins. I got to look up the history of Kerry Collins. Callie Bird said, what's up? What's up, Callie? Good afternoon. Rebel Raider said, that's the Raider way. You're right. Chris Jones to the silver and black. Yeah, I don't see that happening. He just signed a contract this year. Maybe it's a 1-year deal. You might be right on that, but Mookie. So that's the Jimmy G situation from my perspective, guys. And it's just very interesting to think about it. With more information, we're gonna find out if this was manipulated, planned, or made, or somebody spiked his drink, to move on from him. But wow, nobody's asking that question because nobody cares. Everybody's happy to get rid of Jimmy G. But I'm Mikey Raider, and I do those sort of things. It's all very interesting to me, guys. But now, on to other quarterbacks. And we just hired Luke Getchie. He was apparently the second choice for the Raiders to become our offensive coordinator, formerly with Chicago Bears and Justin Fields. And he got fired. But a lot of us wanted Cliff Kingsbury, myself included. But we all know that went downhill fast with the way that all transpired and Magic Johnson getting revenge on the Raiders for not letting him become part owner of the team. And apparently, Tom Brady is now still officially going to be part owner of the Raiders, as now some time has passed and they're working on that on the sidelines. But Patriots are still entering our damn team, and it pisses me the heck off. But we all know what went down with Cliff Kingsbury. You guys saw it in previous videos. So the only other person they interviewed was Luke Getchie, that was up for the running in a second interview. So he ended up getting the job. But the rumors were that he's going to bring Justin Fields, but him and Justin Fields, they didn't get along in the end. But he has a history with Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams and the Green Bay Packers in Davante Adams' early career with those players. And he made it work with Aaron Rodgers, even though Aaron Rodgers wasn't technically a mobile quarterback at that moment or considered one like Justin Fields. But his final year and a half with Justin Fields, whether Justin got better in his bad system or they were coming together, well, they brought on DJ Moore and they finally gave Justin Fields a weapon while Luke Getchie was their coordinator. And they made it work. DJ Moore had a solid year. Unfortunately, again, during the season, Luke Getchie was fired. But Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears were at least scoring 17 to 25 points a game from my recollection. And they had some chemistry. And they needed a fall guy for the head coach. And maybe Luke Getchie was that fall guy. Maybe he's not as bad as people are talking about him. But I'm just talking about his history because it predates him to what he's going to do with the Raiders. He has a history with Davante Adams. They know each other. I guarantee you Davante vouched for him because he started and helped jumpstart Davante's career with Aaron Rodgers. And now he restarted DJ Moore's career with Justin Fields. So whether it be on paper or in people's mind, Luke Getchie is climbing up the ranks, per my opinion, now after thinking about all this stuff and after watching his press conference the other day. I do not have it live to show. I should have. Forgive me. I forgot. I wanted to go live as quick as possible. But I'm going to paraphrase some of the quotes and what he spoke about in the press conference. He spoke about the Davante Adams, Aaron Rodgers connection. He spoke about the Justin Fields connection. He didn't speak about the firing, but he talked about the West Coast offense. And that's what he normally runs, and that's all he runs. But there are varying different differentiations of the West Coast offense. So the Raiders are getting the West Coast offense again, post Gruden, because that is what Gruden ran as well, a variation of it. And it started to work under John Gruden. Now, Davante Adams is going to know some of the play calls. They are going to be familiar. So he'll be up to page a little bit quicker than with any other offensive coordinator. So that'll be good. Again, the question is still out there whether Davante wants to come in with another rookie quarterback and play a season, or if we're going to get a veteran free agent. And I believe Justin Fields is off of the table. I don't think he will be a Raider. because of the money aspect of him requiring a lot of money. But now that we saved money from Jimmy G, you never know. Maybe Justin Fields doesn't mind being reacquainted with Luke Getsy in Vegas for a fresh new start. Those are some questions we're going to be asking and hopefully answering in the months ahead before the NFL draft. But I really don't see the Raiders going the free agency route for a quarterback. I don't see them doing that in terms of a big name quarterback. They might get a backup quarterback or something like that, but I really see the Raiders drafting a quarterback this year. Now, when Luke Getsy was asked about the quarterback situation and, are they going to bring in a draft pick and how is Aiden O'Connell, he said, well, it's a good draft class for those type of quarterbacks. It's a good draft class. Then he spoke about Aiden O'Connell doing some really good things for the Raiders. And he said it's a really good draft class. And he has the ability to work with let's say, a non-improvised quarterback as well as a stand-in-the-pocket quarterback, which is what technically Aiden O'Connell is. And we do know, per Antonio Pierce, that whatever quarterbacks come to this team, it's going to be a competition. It's going to be a competition between any free agent that comes in, between Aiden O'Connell, who's on the roster, and or Jimmy G, if he's still on the roster, or a rookie drafted quarterback brought in. It's going to be a competition. Now, the last time this type of scenario happened, it wasn't a competition, but Derek Carr came in and won the quarterback position off of his rookie year in camp versus Matt Schaub. Can that happen again? It can, depending on the quarterback we draft and when. But I'm looking forward to the competition. And Luke Getsy has experience with non-improvised, non-majorly athletic quarterbacks and the other type of quarterbacks, the stand-in-the-pocket quarterbacks. And he was asked about what type of system will he run. Well, he said West Coast. But the West Coast can be manipulated for both styles of quarterbacks. And he said, I'm not going into it with one system for one type of quarterback. Because if he comes in knowing and building a system specifically for an improvising athletic quarterback a la Justin Fields, that would exclude Aiden O'Connell from competition. Because that type of system would have only been made to probably bring in a rookie quarterback with that skill set. I have a particular set of skills. So he said he's not limited to any system or any type of quarterback. And I liked hearing that. That is the best strategy with the current roster that we have. If we had all athletic quarterbacks, then he might think about drafting and knowing for sure they're going to pick up an athletic, improvised mobile quarterback. Then he can implement that entire system. But he worked with Aaron Rodgers. And the backup quarterbacks to Justin Fields were not always athletic quarterbacks as well. I can't remember them all, but maybe the Red Rifle was one of them. Mitchell Trubisky might have been one of them. So Luke Getsy, he knows multiple offenses. That's going to benefit him. That is going to benefit this Raiders roster. And I really appreciated learning that from him and his system. Because basically, under Cliff Kingsbury, it would have been an improvised quarterback roster for that style of a quarterback. And it would have limited maybe even Aiden O'Connell in progressing under that system, because Aiden O'Connell technically cannot do all of those things. So by having a two-tiered scheme or system, or the ability to create for two different style of quarterbacks, Luke Getsy has brought us an extra gift to this franchise. And that could work. Two varying systems with two quarterbacks that excel in either or. And maybe when one gets injured, you could bring in another and they can win us the game because you have another system installed with that quarterback for that game. Even though the game was being played under one system, then that quarterback had to leave the game for whatever reasons. Now you bring in that other system that is practiced with that quarterback, and now the defense or the team that we're playing against is like, wow, we were not prepared for this. So we get a victory or two from that type of adjustment. Of course, later as the season goes along, they'll have tape on that system and Luke Getsy, and they'll figure it out. But still, it would be a surprise in instances like that where a backup quarterback or somebody can come in and present a different set of skills that might gain us a victory or two because we changed the game plan either at halftime or during the game due to an injury or something else, or the quarterback not playing good. But they're going to have to put in a lot of practice, and he's definitely going to have to put in some work in creating two different schemes or a series of plays of like 20 or 30 plays for each quarterback specific, and having them both the quarterbacks, even if he's not athletic, Aiden O'Connell needs to learn the plays for the other quarterback as well. Maybe not as much as the plays that are meant for him, but he needs to learn them all. And that's how you find out if you have smart quarterbacks that are willing to learn and do anything to win the game. Maybe on a couple of occasions they can put, whether it's Aiden O'Connell or anybody else playing, they can put him in a RPO situation and he can excel in that for that one trick play. And then he can get a little bit better as the years go along. I'm fascinated that Luke Getsy is bringing in two systems, or he can adapt to the players and any quarterbacks that we have on our roster. And I believe he can do that. He also has a very good vaunted running game. He believes the running game is the key to the passing game. He had stud running backs in Chicago, and he's going to be getting some stud running backs here in Las Vegas. And I'm excited. The more I talk up and I think about Luke Getsy and everything he said in the press conference, I'm excited. Let me know your thoughts on Luke Getsy from the press conference and everything I just spoke about. Let me check out your guys' comments. What Richard said, was Getsy bad due to how bad Fields was, or was Fields bad due to Getsy? That is the question that I should have asked while I was talking about. Everyone wins the pressures. No, they don't. Dominique, no, they don't. Remember the guy for the Jets? There was a ton of people that did not win the press conferences. There was a ton. I got to look back into Raider history. Maybe that'll be an episode for Murph to talk about what Raider coaches lost the team in the press conference. There have been a few. Off the top of my dome, I can't think of any Raider coaches that lost the press conference. But I'm going to say Josh McDaniels did. But I don't think he technically did. That's a good question, Dominique. To me, maybe Fields doesn't fit Getsy's offense, said Richard. Should we trade up now, says Juan, or see what happens in the draft? Yeah, you don't want to give up any strategy before the draft. You don't want to trade up now. And there's some scenarios, man. I'm going to come up with some scenarios in a couple future episodes, guys, and You're going to want to listen to these NFL draft scenarios, man. It's coming from a good Raider fan, and I think some of these scenarios that I'm going to mention, I think one of them is going to come true. But I got to think them through. I haven't had the ability to think them through 100%. That's why I'm not giving it to you now. They should start Aiden O'Connell. Again, that'd be nice, man. He did progress in some areas, but I still look forward to an athletic quarterback being drafted. I'll just be honest. I want a black quarterback. Let's do it. I want the excitement. I want the skill set. I want it to happen. Or I want the best white athletic quarterback to come out since Josh Allen. I don't care. I want it to happen. The dude that backed up Dak in 2022, won 6 or something, they should bring him in for competition. Well, they signed Jaden Daniels' backup from a couple of years ago at LSU. The Raiders just signed him to the practice squad or to the training camp roster, but they signed Jaden Daniels, the future draft pick in the NFL. They signed his backup. Maybe to get inside knowledge on what they ran in LSU that might fit Jaden Daniels, and then Luke Getsy can come up with a strategy because they all believe Jaden Daniels will reconnect with Antonio Pierce post his Arizona State days, and Jaden Daniels might somehow go to the Raiders, whether it be trading up or manipulating the draft like Eli Manning to get him to be a part of the Raiders. There's a lot of interesting scenarios coming up, guys. And that guy from the Jets was advising, that's right, he was advising Antonio Pierce this year, Adam Gase. You're absolutely right. I mean, look, Adam Gase is a good coordinator. It's just when he's not on the drugs. You know, he was living that Miami culture back in the days. We all know what happens out there in Miami, man. We all know what happens out there in Miami in that culture. And that culture is in Vegas as well, but hopefully not with our players or our staff. But I'm sure it is behind the scenes for some of them. Like I said, I think he could be a good hire, but he could be a bad hire. But I think he will be a good hire. Okay. I remember everyone was excited for McDaniel's pressure. Yeah, I was too. Yeah, I bought into the hype. But I turned on him quickly. Dominique, what it says, I was LOL, but I guess I was too sold in. No one was excited for Josh Dumbutt. Yeah, we were. I'm sorry, Frost. We were. I was excited for the opportunities with Josh McDaniels. Even though I was upset at some of the stuff he did before, and I didn't like that he was a Patriot, I was excited at the possibilities of what he could be. Everyone was but me. All right, guys. So now let's see if we can watch some of this Antonio Pierce podcast together, because I heard it gave a lot of people the feels. And, you know, I'm a fan of Antonio Pierce. Of course, I got critiques and criticisms about him. And some of his stuff is a little bit cringy, you know, and I don't want it to be even cringier. But, man, I love his passion. I love everything he's doing. And I appreciate it. And it's one of the only things that's been getting me excited. And we all root for an underdog story. This is an underdog story. Now that all the information about his life is coming out, many people are starting to love him and root for him even more. But the problem with this is, again, if we all end up loving so much and it doesn't pan out, he's going to fall hard. And I don't wish that on anybody, because they bring you up to bring you down. They prop you up to shoot you down. And I always have fears that this might be one of the things that's happening. But at the end of the day, I'm a Raider fan, and I want all of this to go good. And I see normally the bad things quickly. I see them quickly and I start to divulge. Yeah, I have some questions about this and I don't like this. I haven't felt that way with Antonio Pierce, except for the fame and being in the spotlight a little too much for my liking. Everything he said has felt genuine and a part of the Raider culture and some Raider truths, and that he respects the legends, the team, the spirit, the aura, the people, the gangsters, the diversity Raider fans. The I don't see anything bad from it. I'm enjoying every minute of it. I'm enjoying every freaking minute of it. And it's kind of like the Gruden early years, where we all enjoyed it until it soured. But I don't think that will be the end result. Again, I'm not going to say he's going to be the greatest coach of all time, but I do know he's going to work at it and he's going to do his best and he's going to give 110% because he has proven that. So at the end of the day, whether he has the resume or not, this is where he's going to build that resume in front of our eyes. And I am so proud to have a motivational head coach of this team. I'm tired of all the defensive gurus, the offensive gurus, that are first time head coaches. I am tired of it. Yeah, they have panned out for other teams. But in the Raiders' history, it hasn't really worked that much. And the last time I could think about it, again, maybe Gruden was a motivational coach, but some people think he was a dictator. John Madden knew NFL football, defense and offense, but he wasn't a credited guru that I know of on any side of the ball. Maybe he was. I got to rewatch his history because I forget things. But John Madden was also a motivational coach. Or he started out on the offense or defense, then became a motivational coach because he had a big heart. And he learned to appreciate and to adapt to his players and become their friends and become their family as well as their head coach. And he demanded respect. Antonio Pierce gets all of that. They are not disrespecting Antonio Pierce in any manner. And I guarantee you, whatever he says goes. I don't think they're questioning Antonio Pierce right now. Again, if we lose or things get awry, it'll happen. But Antonio Pierce has got the team. He's got the legacy. He's got the Raider way. He's got the Raider spirit. And I'm enjoying every minute of it. And I don't see anything bad about all of this. But now I'm excited to watch this podcast. Hopefully our technology doesn't stop during it or go out or I get offline. But let's watch this podcast together and learn more about our head coach, Antonio Pierce, because this is a good story. And I heard it made a lot of people love him even more. Even doubters and haters felt some sort of way from this podcast that we're about to watch together live for the first time for me. I was excited for Gruden. I admit I still think Gruden had us going in the right direction. I do too. I do too. I hate him as a head coach. Can't stand him. I think they did Super Bowl sabotage on us in a revenge factor. But they were building under Carr. They were. No doubt. The NFL did us dirty. Did us dirty. I don't even think what Gruden did was that bad. Like, seriously. This world and cancel culture, bro. Chicago, Washington, and New England. Don't see them trading down. They all need quarterbacks. Yeah, maybe after this video, Julian, we can talk about some scenarios about drafting. But let's watch this video, guys. And hopefully this works out. And I'm probably going to have to stop it every couple of minutes and respond because I'm trying to avoid copyright flags. So please forgive me.
Oh, there you go.
You good, brother?
Screw.
What on my dog?
Come on. Good?
Yes,
Good,
sir.
coach.
Yeah, sure.
You got
Come
it.
on.
One of us.
Different.
Brought a
It's
cigar.
different, but it's
Different.
special, man. Yeah.
At the restaurant last night, I was like, man, I should have paraded him out in front of us.
But they were shuffling
We
around.
could have got all kind of good
They
free
asked
stuff
me,
in Las Vegas.
Am I with Mr. Pierce? I said, huh? I'm with me.
Not in Las Vegas.
No.
It's so crazy, man. I know a majority of the head coaches in the league, they haven't played, like, certainly as a full-time starter. Right. So what you're doing is extremely rare, man. And I know I speak for both of them and myself, Team Pivot. We rooting for you like a mother. Yeah, man. I just want to say that, bro, because I've always been a fan and admired you as a player. But now even more, to root for you, to do well, kill that. Man.
Yeah. That's the love you felt for 9 weeks. Felt it from the staff, felt it from the players, importantly. Felt it from the building, then felt it from Raider Nation.
See, you guys noticed that he talks with pride and poise, and he talks with confidence and swagger, and his voice, everybody else is leaned back having a good time. Yeah, man, we respect you, we appreciate you, we love you. And then when he talks, he's like, listen. That proves he is a leader. His voice carries weight, and that's not seen in a lot of people. He demands your respect the minute he speaks. He demands you to listen to him the minute he speaks. And that's something a lot of people don't even have in the NFL.
And then every once in a while you turn on that tube and you're like, oh, damn, okay, here we go. Like, what is this really about to be? You know what I mean? Like, is it more than football?
Right.
Because that's really is, right? We all use this stage as players as a platform. Well, now I'm one of 32. And they don't all look like this. They don't talk like this. They don't rock like this. And they didn't do what we did. One of the things I told our players, certain people in this building can't do what we do. We could do what they do. They could never be and do what we've done as players.
Yep.
Lacing them cleats up, going out there on Sundays, going to war, going to battle for one another, man. So I don't take it lightly. I'm so like humbled, to be honest, and honored to be in this position. And like more than anything else, more than like a player, like we wanted to win and win the Super Bowl. Like, man, I want to do right, man. I want to set the stage for other players to have this opportunity, so they don't look at us like, well, because he didn't go to Harvard, Yale, John Cornell, he's not a Ivy League guy. Mm-hmm. You know, he wasn't the president of his school or whatever it may be. Man, he can lead men. He can move rocks. He can move stones. He can get people to do what they didn't think they can do and make people believe and really set a culture that you see on Sundays like, damn, that's what it's for. I want to sign up for that. I want to be with those dudes. I want to hang out with them in the locker room.
Let's go.
But then nobody sees all the work that we do Monday through Saturday. Mm-hmm. The grind. Yeah. Because this thing is all fun and games. So, man, listen, this is an opportunity, obviously, of a lifetime, to be one of 32, to be a former player, to play at the highest level, to win a Super Bowl, and now to do it as a head coach of an NFL team, especially a team that you grew up rooting for, the Raiders. Come on, man, what are we talking about?
Hold up. We're talking about respect and love and honor and the Raider way, the Raider spirit, and I'm so proud to hear that. And this is their intro, so let's move past their intro, because, again, I don't want no copyright.
Especially a team that you grew up rooting for, the Raiders. Come on.
See if I can get this past their intro or whatever it may be.
You know what I mean? And so for me, it obviously, as much as just the player thing and seeing one of us do well, like this is truly one of mine. So you know exactly what it is between me and you, man. But welcome to the Pivot. Freddie T, Channing, I'm RC. I think the first thing I want to know, and I think that people would be interested in as well, is how does linebacker coach Antonio Pierce in his first year with the Las Vegas Raiders program, his first year as an NFL position coach, become the interim head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders when Josh McDaniels is let go. Take us through that process.
Man, it's probably 2 years ago when it all started. You know, when I got the phone call from Josh and Dave and Patrick Graham to join them. And what a great opportunity, right? Grew up in LA, watched the Raiders in the Coliseum. Damn, that's different.
Yeah.
We're in Vegas, this bad boy rolling, new regime, let's go ahead and get started. And when I walked in that building day one, like everybody else, which I would expect, I checked my ego at the door. My past didn't matter. I wanted to learn people. I wanted to get to know people. I wanted people to get to know me. I wanted to feel the building, right? So you walk in, to be honest, the first person I run into, Max Crosby.
There you go.
What up, AP? And boom, full injury. Whoa, what is this? I've never felt so much energy in my life from a player out the gate. In the offseason in February, I'm like, what are you doing here at 6 a.m.? Oh, man, I work out every day. This is my routine. Damn, that's different. Watch the dude bounce around, watch his routine. Go over there to the cafeteria, you introduce yourself, you go throughout the building. And as time goes on, you really integrate yourself amongst the whole team. Players, staff, front office, hell, the janitor. You know what I mean? Just kind of get to know everybody. Like, what do you do? What's going on with you? What's up with your life? Just general conversation. And then, you know, as a former player, when things come up during the season, don't matter what side of the ball you're on, guys go to who they're comfortable with talking to. Who can I open up with? Hey, Fred T, man, what's going on with you, man? You good? Like, hey, I got this issue going on with, back home.
Yep.
We had those conversations. Then let's fast forward to 2023. We're in West Virginia, about to play the Bills. It's me, Jason Simmons, Devontae Adams having a conversation on the sideline. It's the damnest thing. I don't even know why I asked it. So Tay looked at me and said, do you think any of these coaches can whoop your ass? I said, what? like, what are we talking about? Like, we about to play the Bills. Like fight?
Let's go.
Yeah, like, you know, do they fuck with you? Like, not on that level. Like, no, I don't think they'll even try it. You know what I mean? And Tay said, I mean, I was looking at you from afar, just wondering, like, if they yelled and talked to AP like that, what would he do? I said, well, they wouldn't do it. You know what I mean? I'm like, it's a respect factor because I don't do that to anybody else. I don't disrespect, talk down on anybody. That was week 2. Fast forward, we playing the Bears. We're about to play the Bears, and we just won a game the week prior. And we're going to the game, it's like, man, we got to win this game. This would be a great opportunity for us to propel ourselves, get 3 wins in a row.
Yeah.
And we're going to be a backup quarterback. O-line's banged up, second string running backs in, and we get our ass kicked. I'm like, oh, my God. It was like one of those ass kicks you're like, oh, this is not good, fellas. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not supposed to lose this game like this to this team. Like, they were on the bricks of going in one direction. After the game, man, I did my normal deal, got out of the locker room. I'm by the buses, and we kind of had like a little group set like this, and guys are just talking. Like, man, I'm not doing this no more. I ain't getting down with how we coach, how we talk to players, how we interact with one another. I'm like, damn, okay. So I'm trying to put the fire out. Like, no, man, look, we a team, got to stick together. The guy's like, no, man, I'm not having fun. I won't play ball no more. Now I'm talking about some of our star players. Fast forward to October 26th. Me and Josh McDaniels have a meeting around 6:30.
That's crazy, y'all. Where the players, after that game, were telling them that they don't want to play ball anymore. That's how bad it was under the former regime. Now I think he's going to tell the story about that meeting. Oh, this is fascinating. Let's hear this, guys.
To 7:30 in the morning, and he's telling me that he needs to have a team meeting with the team. And he's like, man, we need to air this bad boy out and see what's going on, because we play the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football. And he says, AP, I'm gonna talk about accountability. I said, yeah, that's good. Yeah, we need accountability and trust. And I want the players to do the same. I said, ooh, that ain't about to happen. I said, it ain't going down like that. He's like, no, what do you mean? I said, no,
wow,
because they're in a bad place right now. So we talked about it further, and he said, no, you know what, I'm gonna go in there. A couple other guys I know got some stuff to say. We're gonna hash everything out. Man, we walked in the room, he did exactly what he started off doing, and then that shit blew up. Boom!
talking
Oh my
about
God.
accountability.
And I've never heard players talk.
Again, that's the point, is Josh McDumbbutt wants to have a meeting about accountability. And then he wants the players to talk about accountability from their end. Did he take accountability during that meeting? I doubt it. That's why the players blew up, because you want to call out us and about accountability when you're not being held accountable, Josh. Oh, this is a fascinating story, man. So the players started to go off on him now.
Talk about coaches like that, about each other like that, so direct, so bluntly honest. It was so neat. It was so much buildup amongst the players that they just had to release it. So Josh had asked, would I speak on behalf of both the coaches? And I said, probably as a former player, because I said I feel what's going on. So I got there and I kind of just, I did my spiel, man. I just was talking in front of the team and I could see everybody was like this.
What
I
you
said,
gonna
oh
say?
shit, I got the eyes.
Yep.
Okay, so I kind of went in out. Hey man, that's bullshit what you doing. You can't play like that. You got to play harder, Fred T. Like, what we doing? That's not how we get down. Coaches, we got to call it. We worked this shit all week during practice. And then we get in the game, we don't want to call it. We got to call that shit. Call it, man. Don't be afraid. That's why we rep it. You get paid to make those plays, Shannon. RC, you get paid to make that check. That's your job. But it's our job as coaches to put you in position to make those plays. Right. So we had one of those real heart-to-hearts. And then, boom, we in. Man, fast forward 4 days later, boom, we get our ass kicked again. God damn. 14:30 national TV. I'm like, God damn. And then you can see it coming, man. And
Well, he skipped in this interview, he skipped the whole story of how, he called out Josh McDaniels as well. And he said that we need to whoop their butt like the Patriots. And then Josh McDaniels told him, don't ever talk about the Patriots that way in front of the team or whatever. And he skipped that information. But that is some information why the team lost, as he said, 4 days later versus the Lions. But at least we're hearing the story. But he didn't want to bring up that story of Josh McDaniels and what he said on this podcast because it's well known to Raider Nation as of this point. But yeah, so 4 days later, they got their butt kicked, and then the stuff went down. And now let's hear it from his perspective, how it went down after that.
around 4 o'clock that day, I'm sitting there working on some stuff, getting ready for the next week, the Giants, and I get a call from Mark Davis. Well, it says Davis Mark. Shit, I'm like, that's a telemarketer. Put the phone down. I don't know who this is.
Well, if the name not saved, Apple just give you the name.
Just pop up with all caps.
All caps.
So I'm like, I don't know a Davis Mark. I think it's a bank. Boom, hit me again. Click. The next one come through and it's from Sandra. But that one I kind of I saw it was so many names, Yeah. Sandra, Morton, Doug. I'm like, okay, cool, I know who this is. Hey, AP, can you come upstairs? God damn. I shouldn't have said nothing in that meeting. They're going to fire me. I ain't even call the plays. And we go upstairs and Mark, says he's going to make a change. And he's like, I've heard from people in the building, outside the building, that you can get out, you can get us out of this mess. And I'm going to name you the interim head coach.
Shit.
So I went up there thinking one thing, I'm about to get fired. Then he hit me with this. I said, boom. All right, here we go. What's up? And we really go into a hour and a half conversation about myself, my background, how I got here, who I am, what I believe in, how I see football being played, you know what I mean? And at the end, he's like, yeah, I feel good about this. So what we doing? He's like, I'll let you know in a little bit. Don't say nothing. So I gotta go back downstairs. Shit, okay. So I sit there, we working. Josh gets the call, I guess, at some point from Mark Davis. He lets us know, and shit, man, I'm the interim head coach. And it's 12:30 at night on a Tuesday. We gotta get ready in 4 or 5 hours.
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday,
So I
the
say,
day off.
Hold on. We gotta have a staff meeting before this team meeting. News got out, everybody's, hit me. I can't respond. So first thing I'm doing, okay, what do I do? What do you do, baby? So I get with Champ Kelly, who was the interim GM at the time. And look, let's get up there. Let's rally the staff. Let's get everybody together. Boom. So we get there at 6 o'clock. Tell the staff, look, obviously we made some changes. That's what we're doing. Champ, AP, we run this thing together. Hey, we lock arms. If you don't want to lock arms, go ahead and walk out the door. All the staff said, no, we good. We lock up. Team meeting about an hour later, go down there, tell the players exactly what we're about to do. Accountability, trust, passion, poise, pride, play for one another, trust one another, trust the process, believe in one another. More importantly, boys, let's have fun. Let's have fun. Let's make football fun again. We work our ass off to celebrate on Sundays and to hear those magic words, see you Wednesday. That's what I want to do. The Max Crosby said, shit, I want to smoke a cigar. Yeah, cool. We go to the 8 Lounge and we'll smoke a cigar after the game. No, in the locker room. Cool, hold that thought. All right, so we keep going. So, look, we go out to practice. This November 1st. Put the pads on, 15 straight plays, all runs.
Wow.
Bring it back.
Wow.
We did that for an hour. Straight training camp shit. I said, man, we need to get that aggression out. We need to get that anger out.
Yep.
We got to get back to playing physical football, style of football.
His press conference was good, too. His press conference was good.
Trust one another and let's do it together. No more outside noise, though. No more whispers. No more clicks.
Where they danced.
No more
Remember,
gossip.
they danced.
No more high school shit, man. Let's
they
be
danced
grown
at
ass
the end
men
of
in this bad
practice.
boy. If AP fucks up, my bad. I got it. Shit, you fuck up, call it. That's on me. RC, I got you. I'll be better next. Cool, that's all I need. We're not going to dwell on the negatives. Positive reinforcement, fellas. Then you know what happened that Sunday, man? We went out there and we rolled. And them dudes played with so much passion, effort, and then just the fun and the smile. I'm like, this shit is what football's about. So that's what it felt like, RC, to go through that whole process and really went off my gut. Did I know it was going to work? Sort of.
Yeah, you
I
had
believed
swag,
that was going to work,
you
though,
had
more
swag.
importantly. And I had to make sure everybody in that building believed in that. And that was something that just didn't happen.
That was one of the reasons why I love the press conference, because he brought his voice out and he led the Raiders in that moment. That was a great press conference, guys. That's what also propelled the team to believe in him. Great, great press conference as the interim head coach.
24 hours. That was all those conversations that we had for 22 months that I was a linebacker coach. Yeah. And just the trust that they had in me that they knew I wasn't going to bullshit them. It's black and white. It's not that AP's a tough guy. He ain't AP from the hood. I'm just a real-ass dude, and I try to do right. I just want to do right by right people. You know what I mean? And when you do that, it makes the game simple, and it makes it easier to relate to people.
Bro, like now you're a head coach of an NFL team, and you're like, yeah, well, I'm just right. But it couldn't have been like that.
Yeah, well,
it couldn't have been that
overlords
easy.
above you.
What was that pressure? What was that, like, you said, yeah, and I got up and we went to the meeting. It couldn't have been that, bro.
That mentality.
I didn't feel pressure because I went to my human reaction. I went really to my football instincts of what and how I thought the game should be played, how it should be presented to players, how we should talk to one another in the building, the respect factor that was needed. And that was all addressed. And I laid it out very clear, very slow. And I don't really talk for long periods of time. It's almost like sound bites.
Yeah, you are about sound bites. You are about sound bites.
We don't want to hear that for long. Guys, especially now, man, these dudes got 3, 4 phones, 2 iPads, and a computer. They're doing all that while I'm talking and giving a demonstration about goddamn inside zone. You know, like, did you hear me? I got you. Bro, you never looked up. But it's on the iPad and everything else. So when you say the pressure, no, it wasn't pressure, because like my whole life has been pressure. You know, I made it known. Like I grew up in inner city, Los Angeles.
Here we go.
I grew up with gangbanging was every corner that you walked to go to school. Yeah. Every color was active. Silver and black was showing up because that was neutral really amongst the gangs. So like that was pressure. That was the real shit to get home.
To get I was home. Called Miklo.
You know what I mean? Like,
I was called Miklo in my hood.
You know, most of my friends was like, man, we're just gonna play ball. And then that's where football comes into it. So that was always the relief valve. You know what I mean? That was the way that and we all know that was a way for us to get out. I didn't care about nothing else Be honest, when I was younger, but football. Knew I had to go to school because we had to do that because that's what I knew it is on living to play football. But I knew what my first love was. And I said it before, football never cheated on me. It's always there. Whenever I need it, I can go pick up that football. Don't talk back. Don't argue with me. You know what I mean?
No opinions.
No opinion, no emotion. Don't get mad.
Yeah.
So pressure, bro, this is like, it's what you do. It's inside of you. And it's what I always say, like, you know, we've won championships amongst us in here. Like, not everybody's a champion.
There you go.
Not everybody's a champion.
Here you go.
I know,
Don't
but
say-
that's a
don't say that
very
shit.
it's a very sensitive subject.
It's not
in
sensitive
here,
because
AP,
you make it
because
something.
you've said we've all won championships.
At some
I
level.
mean, we've all played football at some level. Not everybody here has won the championship of our sport. So just when you say we've all won championships, AP, you know,
I'm gonna knock
like I've
your
been
ass out
around
after
you
a while.
a long time. I know you don't really have that sensitive bone in your body, right? But just
No,
for
no.
these two,
But we're talking about Hall of Fame.
It's crazy that KP has called me now, but no, I won a college national championship.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you won at some
It
level.
felt good then in that moment.
Yeah, look,
so I kind of know
So
what
Fred,
you guys.
you gonna put me on the island, huh?
Hey, bro,
You
you
win?
on your
I
own
ain't
right
win
here,
shit.
Chan.
High school?
Nothing.
Pop Warner.
Nothing. All I have is all state, all SEC, all American. But as a team, I ain't win a goddamn thing.
He's won fishing tournaments. But listen, since we're talking about pressure though, AP, most interim coaches don't really succeed. Like it's rare that you see a guy go from being an interim to actually becoming the guy, right? You went 5-4 and it's just your interim coach campaign. And let's call it the honeymoon phase, right? We understand fans, fan bases, ownership, like the pressure kicks in if there is such a thing next year. The expectations, right? All coaches want to make the Super Bowl. Every coach, head coaches, assistant coaches, et cetera. What are your realistic expectations for, next season and getting the guys together and making sure you guys are successful regardless of?
Yeah. And we talked about this a lot during that 9-week period of I call it winning stamina. It's hard in this league to, you say wins, I know you're thinking wins and losses. I'm talking about in everything we do.
Right.
How we attack the day, how we walk in the building. What's our mindset is a purpose. Like, I don't care what happened yesterday. I don't care about your past. None of that shit matters to me. It's like, what are we doing now? What are you doing today to help us?
Yeah, I love it. I love the fact that he's talking with pride and poise, and he's explaining it's in the here and now. It's in the here and now. Thank you, Julian, for reminding me. I'm trying to do whatever I can, to defeat the rhythm, the algo rhythm. Appreciate you. But yeah, man, I'm enjoying the interview. And sometimes I just caught in listening. I just get caught in listening and enjoying it. And I hope you guys are having a good day as well. Hey, keep up in the chat room, guys. Let me know your thoughts on anything, and then I'll post it on screen. Also, hit that like, that subscribe, consider donating. I appreciate you. I love you.
Win whatever it's doing. If it's in OTAs and we can't be out there to be physical, but we're getting the best opportunity we can from a mental standpoint, right? Or boom, it's phase one, and all we're doing is got that 30-minute session where you can just talk about ball. That we go in there with a purpose. Cause I told dudes like this real quick. Like, if you don't want to be there and you got shit going on in your mind, if I don't got you mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, then just stay home. So when you say, how do you start to build that pressure, it's the way you build the culture. What I know we have now is we got guys that want to be in the building.
Yeah,
No need
they
to
want to
rush
be
out
Raiders.
here.
They want to
They're
be
not
Raiders.
looking
They
over
want
their
to be
shoulder.
Raiders.
They're not worried about if I'm
Jack
checking
Jones,
what
they
time
want
they
to be
got there,
Raiders.
what time
Max
they left.
Crosby, they want to be Raiders.
They know they can go in there and get their work done. And I trust that they're going there with a purpose. The honeymoon is over. The honeymoon was over at the first game, to be honest.
Yep.
Because that was an emotional win. And then shit, we did against the Jets. Okay, then we lost 2. Then we got shut out at home. But then we went up and put up and broke a franchise record with 63. Then we beat the Chiefs on Christmas Day. That was pressure. Then we had a playoff game that kind of a must-win game to get in the playoffs. We didn't do that. Then you got to finish the game the right way because we had nothing to play for. Everybody packed their U-Hauls. So how I set the tone, how I set the culture, what I told these guys the last game before Denver was like, listen, Wednesday, boom, got up there, 7 a.m. Hey, next Wednesday, your checks come. Granted. But if you don't want to be here and you got shit going on, and you want to
get on out the door. Get on out
in
the
the
door.
U-Haul, you got flights to the Bahamas or wherever, you cool to leave. Champ, you good? You gonna pay them? Yeah, AP, they good. Hey, coaches, hey, if you got something going on, you want to be in another organization, hey, you good. Champ, you gonna pay them?
Facts. That's the final game of the season when we have nothing to play for. I guarantee you he said that's exact words to everybody out there. All eyes on G. What's up, man? Good to see you, my dude.
Cool. But if you sit your ass in this chair, we rolling. And we're going to play this game like we got another game. Because I said what we do in the first game in 2024 is what everybody's going to see and what they expect from the Raiders going forward. And just go back and watch that Broncos game. Watch how these boys play. Nobody's worrying about being injured. Nobody's worrying about off-season surgeries. So dudes out there hunting. Dudes was blocking. Dudes was running.
Whooped their butt.
So there's
people
no
say they
pressure.
gave up.
There's nothing that we worry about as far as the wins and losses. That's going to take care of itself because you're starting to create a culture where that's the only thing that's accepted. Now, are we going to go undefeated, Freddie? Hell no, I don't know. I don't think so. But how we attack everything and our purpose and everything is going to be that of like, oh shit, like you got to deal with us. When we walk in, when the Raiders walk in, when AP walks in, you're going to feel me. And if I don't feel you, we don't work. And that's simple. And that makes it really easy now as we go forward, putting together a staff and bringing in players.
Someone texted to me a couple days ago, and it hit me, so I just said, I decided to save it. And I titled it in my notes, Greatness Fight. It says, do the work every day. You have to do something you don't want to do. Every day, challenge yourself to be uncomfortable, push past apathy and laziness and fear. The battle is between who you are now, who you want to be, and where you want to go. Fight for your greatness today.
Yep.
That's a message that I think that will resonate with, your guys.
Yeah.
Whether they're watching the show or not, man, I think that's exactly what you were speaking to.
Yeah. What I liked about you said there's like being comfortable, being uncomfortable.
Yep.
Stepping on toes.
Hopefully you guys can still hear it.
Living on the edge. Never jumping.
Right.
With all this that you feel in the room right now, we're not undisciplined. We ain't a bunch of like thugs. Black coach, former player, wear earrings, rolling in a lowrider. I did that shit for 20 years. You just now watching.
Yeah.
But everything you're talking about with greatness, like it's being comfortable in your own skin. I'm good with being AP, man. AP good without being the head coach. I was good as a linebacker coach. And I was going to be the best damn linebacker coach I could be. That was my goal. Down to head coach of Las Vegas. My job is to be the best Raider coach of all time. That's my goal. Am I going to get it? I don't know. Fuck, man, I'm striving for it.
Yep.
I want players to strive for that. That's what Max talks to me every day about. I want to be the greatest Raider of all time. Step one. I want to be a world champion. Step two. I want to be a Hall of Famer. Step three. I want to be the greatest of all time. Step four. I want guys like that around me, man.
Yep.
Devontae Adams, same thing. Now, I know, AP, you're talking about the 1% of the 1%ers. But fuck, man, what are we striving for? Why are we doing all this work? Why are we doing these push-ups? Why are we sitting here to talk about this today? Because you guys want to be the best at what you're doing. There's no different. So the greatest thing you're talking about, that's the point on. You got to share that with me.
Oh, yeah. I sent it to you ASAP.
You talk about Max and Devontae, like the best of the world, that you have to reach, like, once you got the head coaching job or the interim and now the head coach, is there any point you had to pull Devontae to the side and reset your position as the head coach now?
My position was set on November 1st.
Yep.
Just because we talk and we cool, there's still a chain of command. There's still a level of respect. Ask Tay, there's a certain level for effort. I mean, Tay can tell you. I called him out several times during the season.
Before the head coaching?
Hell yeah. Hey, you the best, Tay? You the best receiver in the NFL? Hell yeah, AP. Well, then shit, you need to show up this Sunday. Max, you the best DN in football? Well, goddamn, Patrick Mahomes need to feel you every play. So, like, there's no hiding. There's no gray. It's not like I go call Malcolm Kuntz out. I go call the practice squad. I'm going to the top dogs. I'm going to my guys with the capes on, my superheroes.
Yep,
That's what I call them. Those are my superheroes. Those are the ones that are difference makers, right? Those are the ones that change the game. If you can't address and talk to them first, I wouldn't even be sitting in this position. And that's why I'm sitting in this position, because of the respect that we have for one another and understanding that we were cool. I'm still cool, but I'm the head coach.
Again, I believe he did all this stuff where he told these superstars or whatever. Like, he called them out. Hey, you can't play like that. What's up? Oh, Josh McDaniels, what's the problem? You can't play like that. Okay? I had to take off my logo, guys, to hopefully get the screen technology quality better so it doesn't work on my processor as much or whatever the situation, or my graphics card. But that's why it's all green, guys. But yeah, I guarantee you he said that exact stuff to players like Devontae. And that holds weight. That holds weight when you challenge them. Even though they want to blame others, you can't do that. You can't blame Josh McDaniels for everything. You should have had a better game, Devontae. Well, Josh McDaniels didn't call the play. You should have had a better game, Devontae. You dropped a couple of balls. Don't ever drop them. I love how he's literally doing and holding them accountable after becoming the head coach. And he's scared and trying to get his job. I love it. I love it. Let's go on.
If you're late, you get a nice envelope from the Raiders.
that pink
Yeah,
little
that
thing
big,
on you.
with the
Yeah. With the
Go,
envelope.
donate to your famous, your best foundation or whatever charity. They know what time it is. But listen, like there's a thing about like, and I learned this from one of the gentlemen I work for, Herm Edwards. He says, I don't have rules. I have expectations. I have standards. And that doesn't change.
Herm Edwards, one of his
And when
advisors.
they do, you decide to go opposite, then we need to shake hands and kiss babies and move on. So just because the tag removed, it was the same thing. They were just going to battle and say, I don't want the tag to be there. Now he's our guy. Yeah. And that's what it was when Mark Davis made the decision. That's our guy. Yep. And it's my job to make sure I continue that same level of consistency. And if you know me well enough, you know I'm not going to change. I really don't. Money doesn't change me. Fame doesn't change me. I'm already a success story. But I'm just writing more and more. Like I told our players, first thing I did too, should have started at the beginning with this, I gave them a blank sheet of paper. Shit, which one to write? Because the books are going to keep rolling. The chapters keep rolling. Shit, AP just got a new blank sheet.
You are excited for fame writing. A little bit, dude.
Until I'm in the ground 6 feet deep, I'm still writing.
I know you know, different than a lot of other people from the outside. One of my favorite people, and I know obviously she was your favorite person, was your mom. You mentioned being uncomfortable. Your mother could make people uncomfortable.
Oh, wow.
But if she loved you, you felt that as much as anything. You're the only child. That was, you know, I've been around you, your best friend. The way you took care of her, the way she took care of you, how much have you thought about her during this process?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Cry. It's about
so most people ain't gonna know Tat knows that. You know, everybody look at that Christmas Day and be like, damn, this dude's looking up in the sky. He's catching his breath, he's relieved. Nah, man, I'm like, damn, where my mom at?
He's getting emotional.
Shit, when you're only child and
it all comes full
no
circle.
brothers, no sisters.
Only child.
The motherfucker keep you out of trouble. Whoops your ass. Loves you up, you know what I mean? Takes you to practice, gets you up at 4 in the morning, take you to school. Picks you up at 4 p.m., take you to practice. Shit, bro. Yeah, that's a different one.
Because they all understand the story
Mom's
of mothers.
Like, Mom's is OG. She was hard, she was tough, but fuck, she loved hard too, man. It's probably the only thing in my life that I've ever done something. I'm like, fuck, where's she at? Then, what was it, 14 months ago now? She passed away. I'm like, God damn.
I got to be one of those lucky people because you loved me. She loved me.
Yeah, no, you was in the group.
You know, I was in a small circle of people. You know, when you get a time to be by yourself, though, and think about, like, she was here to see so much you accomplished, and she was so proud. And when I think about you saying, you know.
See, now this is interesting to me, guys, because I need to bring this back to Derek Carr. A lot of you guys ain't going to like this. A lot of people are loving Antonio Pierce for showing emotion in this podcast. A lot of people are loving on him for showing emotion either which way. Happy, anger, whatever, showing emotion. Derek Carr tried to be not that person that showed emotion. But when he did share emotion and he cried, just like Antonio Pierce is doing right now, everybody gave him grief. What is wrong with showing passion? What is wrong with getting emotional on any given moment under the circumstances? What is wrong with it? Why was Carr wrong? I'm going to leave it at that. You effing hypocrites. Celebrating Antonio Pierce crying and getting emotional for his life and the team of the Raiders in this podcast when you guys grilled and canceled Derek Carr for getting emotional about the same exact things, just in a different context. I love emotions, and emotions are a way to let it out, get it out, and then guess what? We fight it out. And then we win in the end. We win in the end. Ain't no problems with being emotional. Ain't no crying. Ain't no crying in football. Maybe there should be. If we get more people like this with passion and love.
Where she at, it's not because you're trying to figure out where she is now. It's because she was always there. Mm-hmm. After every game, when you coach, for the babies, for sure. Yeah. She loved those grandkids. Did you ever just get a moment, man, where you just was like, fuck, Mom, like, this the team I grew up loving. These were the colors that could keep us safe. And, like, we did it, We are here. Have you ever just got an opportunity to get to that place with her?
Well, it's funny because it was 2 times. It was that October 31st when I got that phone call. I was outside for about, 2-3 hours. I was waiting on Mark to tell me I got the job. Like, Twitter knew about it before I did, like, officially. I know he talked about me. But, I went outside the facility. It's pitch black. Everybody had already left the building. Man, I ain't gonna lie, this is a damn mistake. I go upstairs. I go outside. I'm looking up fucking shooting stars. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, seriously? 2 of them. Cool. And there's one of those moments you're like, Ted, I ain't the most super religious guy. You know what I mean? I'm not like, but I get it. I know there's certain things that just are on that you just can't explain, but it's probably one of those moments I was like, damn, she know what time it is.
Yeah, she's there with you. She's there with you with the shooting stars in that moment. Respect. I miss your dad too. I miss
This nigga got me tearing up.
It's true, man. It's facts.
But
it's facts.
The highest
Ain't nothing
point
wrong with love.
Of what it was, because, bro, we know you, bro. You was a dog, undersized, coming out of, you had to go to, transfer in college and all that, end up being a Super Bowl champion, all the shit you've been through. And then the head coaching job, and then getting the thing, like, yourself and your mom, like, what do you think the highest point is? The highest success, the highest accomplishment is?
I think for me, just being able to take care of her, since 2000, financially, mentally, emotionally, like, just to give her everything that she wanted. And really, we wanted. Shit. My apartment is about this size. You know what I mean? This room. Yep. I never lived in a house. I got to the league. Tat was he was when I bought my first house in 2003. So when I was able to buy her house, take care of her, like, I would always say take care of mom, don't work, but like,
that's the gift.
I truly just hang out with the kids, you know what I mean? Travel to come to the games, come watch me. Had the car dealerships, come check that bad boy out. It wasn't really football so much, it was just like seeing her happy. Because it was me and her.
you get to this point, AP, and you know, people see this now, right? And to people walking around here, for sure, you're going to be Las Vegas Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce, and
Yeah, that's right.
they're going to
Let it
tell
in.
pieces of the story. They're going to love to say that you're a Super Bowl champion, because that part leads right into, oh, he's a Super Bowl champion, he's a captain, he's supposed to be.
Thank you guys for everybody for chiming in. We are watching the podcast with Antonio Pierce that gave a lot of Raider Nation the feels and the love when we learned a lot about this man. And he basically broke down and let it all loose. And we're watching it live together for the first time. Thank you guys for being online, spending your Saturday with me. And we'll be online another maybe half an hour at the most. So get in your chats, your questions, and then we'll talk a little bit about quarterback scenarios in a couple of minutes. But let's watch a few more minutes of this Pivot podcast, and let's enjoy learning who our new head coach of our team is, and let's root him on. What's up, Shield? Thank you very much for all of the feedback, everybody. James, All Eyes on G's, Rebel Raider, everybody that's still online. Steven, appreciate y'all.
In this spot, but you know, you went to JUCO, right? You went to Tucson to play for the Wildcats. You were an undrafted free agent. Like, I know better than anybody, if Mike Barrow doesn't get hurt, maybe you don't get that opportunity in Washington, which gets you the contract in New York. You know, you become a Super Bowl champion. Hell, you was working with me at ESPN, and you was the first one to hit me to RC. Sit in your car. Don't sit in this building. They're going to put you on TV every time they see your face around here. Just the entire journey.
Yeah.
If you go back and talk to 16-year-old AP.
You had a baby at 16?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You was nothing at 16?
Wow.
Hey, like this. Hey, like this.
He's shooting them. They weren't blanks.
Target practice.
I didn't know that.
You know, Tad,
I know he had
practice.
7, but I'm like,
Yeah,
damn.
Target
That's
practice.
right. He had
you
7
get,
kids.
you get an opportunity to go talk to 16-year-old Antonio Pierce. He
7
finds out
kids.
he's going to be a father. I couldn't imagine telling
Wow.
your mom, by the way.
Well, every one of them was always an adventure.
I probably, if I have any, I probably only have 1 or
But
2.
you get an opportunity to go tell that kid,
7?
man.
I don't
This
have any.
Antonio Pierce gets in the DeLorean, gets to talk to 16-year-old Antonio Pierce, who just became a father, and say, hey, man, hold your head. Like, this story has so many chapters to be written.
Yeah.
What would you tell him?
Man, just keep your head up. One thing about me, man, whatever happens, I just keep rolling. I take the punches. Really, I think I got a unique ability to fuck it. I call it fucking mentality. Not an fuck it, I don't care. No. I'm able to move on. I can close that door, that chapter, and then attack whatever's next. You put something in front of me, I'm gonna just attack that. What I would tell that one is, man, just, you know, shit, you're gonna go through more ups and downs than you can imagine.
Yep.
Like financially, personally, family, shit, your friends, you know what I mean? Your enemies. Like, they gonna come in all different shapes and sizes. But just keep going. And I think the one thing about me is that that's what you really get. You get a dude that doesn't blink. I don't flinch. You know, it's not a, you know, people say it's you hard. No, fucking I'm emotional. You just saw it. You just got it out of me. You know what I mean? I don't talk about that. I don't talk about moms. I leave that alone because it's sensitive. It hurts me still, you know? But you ask me the next question, I can departmentalize. Boom, attack that. What I'll tell that kid though, man, more importantly, like, man, just keep your head up, keep pounding, keep dreaming. Because the damnest thing, I've almost reached all my dreams, man. I got a few more. Got a few more that I want, you know what I mean? That I'm really searching for.
As a coach.
But I don't stop till I get it. And I don't know when it's coming, but I know it's coming. So when you say, how are you prepared? How are you ready for that moment? When I became the Raiders head coach, is because I knew it was gonna happen at some point.
It's a lot of confidence, guys. He was involved in scandals or possible misdeeds while at Arizona State and at his high school as a high school coach. But again, he just explained he has the F it mentality. Something arises, he needs a superstar, F it. I'm going to do whatever is necessary to get that job done. Sometimes we're going to skirt the lines. Sometimes we're going to go around the edge. And we're going to do some things like that. I have an F it mentality. So for people that want to hold him accountable for whatever the issues were with Herm Edwards at Arizona State, the scandals or whatever they talked about, you got to understand it all equals itself out. A lot of good things are going to come from those type of possible issues. But he had to use the effort mentality to try to build a winner on those instances to get those players on his team. He had to skirt the system. The system is already rigged. But the minute we do things against the system, we're the ones that get caught and reprimanded and lose our jobs. But the people that own the system or at the top of the system, nothing happens to them. It's a slap on the wrist. It's a fine. So he has an effort mentality. So this is making rethink some of the allegations against him as you got to do what needs to be done to just win, baby. That official Raider spirit.
I didn't know when, but when the man gave me the opportunity, shit, I'm gonna run with it. And that 16-year-old, he had the same opportunities. He could have went the other way. Could have stayed in the streets. Could have did the street shit. That was easy. That was the easiest thing to do because it was the most comfortable thing to do because that's what everybody was doing. But I wanted to play football. I wanted to go to college. Shit, I was a fuck up. Let's keep it 100. When I was young, I was rolling. Who was rolling? He was in the street. He was doing all the shit I wasn't supposed to do.
Right.
But then I'm like, all right, you got a bigger purpose. Then I had my other son. Then I had my daughter. Then my daughter. Then I had boys. I'm like, God damn. See, when you're the only child, though, Chad, don't you know, when you're the only child, you start to have fun.
He's always telling me this. He was like, man, I want a basketball team. I was like, Dad, why do you want a basketball team?
Yeah. I was shooting for 10. If I got to get 10,
Oh, you thought earlier enough?
yeah. I figured, but then, see, this is the key, though. I like, they're going to try to whoop my ass when they get older.
Yeah.
So I wanted them young enough so I can still have some ish to me. You know what I mean?
None of your kids could whoop you right now?
Hell no. You know that. You know they can't. They might try now. They might, the win.
Yeah.
You try to give them that move real quick. You got to get them down that first minute. That 9 seconds. We ain't going after that. You know what I mean? But that 60-year-old man, one thing I'd say, he was resilient. That dude, man, graduated high school at 17. Shit, you one of the top dudes in high school football. You got to go to JUCO because you're too cool for school. As a sophomore, you then flunk out of school as a sophomore.
Yeah.
Then you go to JUCO, you play with Chris McAllister, some other guys. Then you go to college, make some mistakes there as well, get in some trouble. Damn, got another child. Here we go. And then you watch the draft, and you're like, God damn, 30 of them? 30 linebackers better than me? God damn.
You're too small.
I thought I was
You're
good.
too small.
Yeah, man, well, that's back when it was two backs and shit, two tight ends. All they was doing is, you know what I mean? Shit, 230. I'm like, yeah, that's a good size now. Hell, we'll be first rounders right now. We go around. But, then you go to Washington, man, and you go through that thing, and you have to earn your right to be on the team. Then you play early as a rookie, and you sit on the bench, and then shit, sit on the bench, or really the fourth linebacker when RC got there, and another opportunity. So I would just tell that 60-year-old man, look, you don't know what's going to come. You don't know when your opportunity. That's another example there. When your name's called, are you ready? And the one thing I say about my life, when my name's called, my number's called, it's live. If y'all call me right now and say some shit popping, I'm there. Mm-hmm. Wow. I know where I'm at. I'm your head coach. I might be there. I didn't say I'm coming. I'll be there. But I'll be there, you know what I mean? So that's
he's talking about some gangster activity right there. Anything is popping, you give me a phone call right now, I'm there. Well, maybe. I know I'm the head coach of an NFL team. I'm going to have to think about it, but I'm there. It's going off. Man, I've had many instances in my life where people don't understand, man. You got to do some gangster things. You got to do some gangster things, man, just to just to proceed. Yeah, I've been a part of some of that stuff, y'all. People don't believe it. Oh, you're a white guy. You were in Hollywood. You've never had. Yeah, I've had those experiences. I didn't grow up with money. I had nothing. I still don't have money. And even when I was in Hollywood, I still wasn't making a lot of money. I was supporting my entire family. So please hit that thumbs up, that like, that subscribe button. Consider donations, super chats, becoming a member of the channel to support me a little bit further. But that was a classic, you know, true native. That's the wrong word. Like a true friend or person. Like if you call me, I'm there. Like I know what's up. We're gonna do some gangster activity. We're gonna do some gangster activity. I know that feeling. Like if it involves family or really close people, you gonna figure it out. You're gonna fix that problem as soon as possible. Sometimes you have to do that type of stuff. Scary though. That makes me think about Aqib Talib in that football game where his brother was like a head coach and somebody got shot. That's not the time frame that you do stuff like that during a pee-wee football game. But man, that was crazy. That story.
You know what you get with me, like, man, this dude's gonna be there, man, like at all costs, because I didn't grow up with brothers and sisters. So like this is my family. The reason you get back in football because that's your family, that locker room. You know what I mean? To be around those dudes, man, and talk. That's how all this kind of came. That's why I'm sitting here today. Because there's people around me. I'm really just a chameleon and a gift from all the people that's touched my life with my own twist to it. You know what I mean? And, you know, go back to what RC said, to be blessed with a mom that fucking was a rock. Yeah. Hard as hell. Shit. Carried a 38 on her hip at all times.
Oh,
Live,
wow.
ready to go.
Had a revolver.
What? 38. Rolling. That's what I can tell you. Rolling. It's real shit now. Like, it's like yeah, she cut on shit.
That brings up an interesting point, guys. Again, we're talking the possible, and I don't want to use the word gang culture because not everybody's in a gang. But he brought up that his mom is from that type of stuff where she always had a revolver on her. And a lot of people, before they become famous or superstars in the NFL, they have to live in the streets and they have to live that way, whether it be for protection or whatever. And let's hope and pray that we all have a day where every human being that is poor or not as wealthy as others does not have to worry for their safety, not only from the police, from the elites, from the government, but from their own kind and their own community. Let's pray and hope for a day that where they don't have to have GUNs on their hips and feel for safety. But I understand how that culture is taught to these players and stuff before they go into the NFL. But I don't understand why it continues after they're in the NFL and they got a certain amount of dollars. I know that's one of the only cultures they understand is that type of stuff where it becomes their hobbies and they learn about GUNs and they understand the weaponry and everything. But the minute you get into the NFL and you got more money, more problems, I don't understand why it's so hard for a lot of the players to let go that culture or that experience or that lifestyle. I don't understand why. You have money now. They need to be educated that their life completely changes, not because of money in the NFL, not because of fame in the NFL, but their life completely changes. Possibly most of your former friends that you were thugging or doing whatever in the streets were, they got to be out of your life. They got to. Not that they're bad people, but you need to get rid of that toxic energy and environment away from you. So when they say your life is going to change, the NFL players probably think, yeah, man, I'm going to get famous. I'm going to get money. I'm going to be able to buy a house. I'm going to be able to buy cars. I'm going to have a lot of haters. But your life is completely changing because it's no longer your life. It's a different life. And I want the NFL to do a better job at helping players recognize that when they come into the league. You guys know we've had problems with that type of stuff, whether it be drinking, driving, or weaponry. I mean, Rolando McClain, Damian Arnett, just to name a few, man. And Antonio Pierce, even to this day, he's barely coming out of that lifestyle. We all heard about the Jack Jones problems with the Patriots and weaponry, and him trying to get Jack Jones out of that environment. So he brought him to the Raiders, and hopefully that is going to continue to be a great story. It's just very, very interesting that that culture continues once they enter the NFL for a lot of these young men. Sorry, guys, just thoughts I had.
You talking shit? You talking shit? I said, you talking shut the fuck up. Now you need to talk. All right. Yeah, this is what we're going to she going popping, man. But, you know, it's like you got with a mom like that, but then, you know, she'll love you like no other and be wherever you can, man. So all that's built, you know, this 16, all I want to do is make my mom proud, man. Make my mom proud, you know what I mean?
There are a couple things there that made me.
That's a tough statement, Rebel Raider. That's a very, very tough statement. Because from the outset, we can say they're leeching off him, but we're not in that circle, and we don't know what they've been through together. I know a lot of them played at, ECU with Max Crosby. So I don't want to put them in the category that they're leeching off of him because I don't know anything about them. But everybody needs to question and reevaluate their relationships the minute they enter the NFL. They need to do that. And just brings up a quick thought, not to get off topic, but I watched the Jersey Shore show, and what's her name? Angelina. She never knew if she had a father, who that father was, and she recently met him through a detective or whoever those people are, and she found her father, her biological father. They got reunited in an episode like last week. But during that episode, the father started saying some weird comments, knowing that Angelina is possibly famous and possibly rich. I don't know how much she's worth. They probably get $20, $30, $40, $50,000 an episode or a week. I don't know. They probably do 15 shows a year. Plus they get endorsement deals. I don't know how rich Angelina is. But she reunited with her father. And in that episode, he started to come off as creepy. And then we just had the episode the other day where she's crying and her father saw dollar signs. Her biological father lied and said, oh, I missed so many years being your father and I want to be in your life. But he's seeing dollar signs. And it's really sad because Angelina has been through a lot, whether she's a train wreck or not, in real life and with her relationships. But when she was crying to find her biological father and found him, she was proud. And they could have built a relationship. But already a month or so into their relationship, he sees dollar signs and he's begging her for money and telling her to pay for stuff. And I've had people like that in my life. I still do. I just posted on my birthday. I posted, it was my birthday or whatever, and people were telling me happy birthday and this and that. And I posted a picture that my mother sent me $20 of cash in a birthday card. My mother sent me only $20 of cash in a birthday card. And I owe a lot of people money. I don't even have money right now to pay some of these people. And I'm struggling just to pay my own bills. But I posted that I got $20 from my mother and a bunch of other gifts from people, because people were sending me videos and I call them gifts. They were singing happy birthday to me. I call those gifts. They're not of monetary value, but they're gifts. But I posted that I got $20 in gifts for my birthday. Then I had one person, hey man, I know it's your birthday. I hate to ask you this. And I know you have a new podcast and you talked about you're selling a lot of merchandise. So, but I hate to ask you this. I didn't get a check or a direct deposit that I needed today. And I need, like $150. And I'll probably get the direct deposit tomorrow, but I need the money today to buy church stuff, for my kids. This is a girl that I'm, talking to or getting to know. And I need to buy church stuff by 5:00. So could you give me $100 to $150? And then I'll pay you back tomorrow the minute my direct deposit comes in. I barely know you. Then you're asking me for money on my birthday because you think I'm happy and you think that I got a bunch of money from other people. Red flag, red flag. Everybody run away from the red flags. Don't ever loan money to anybody in the future anymore, even family members. Unless you really, really got it, and don't care that you're going to officially lose all of that money, don't ever do it. Make a barrier, make it set in stone. That's it. Because they're all going to come after you, especially when you become famous and big.
You reminded me of a few things. Tell your mom was tough. Like tough as a motherfucker. You spoke about accountability, respect, trust. And then you mentioned gray areas. You reminded me of a guy who I played for. RC played for him for a bit. Coach Tom Coughlin. We talked about TC last night.
Tom
his
Coughlin
coaching
is
style,
another mentor
how
for
he
him.
was such a hard ass. Who's the toughest, your mom or coach or TC?
Yeah. See, because I would say TC because I couldn't do nothing to my mama, but I want to whoop TC's ass sometimes. But no, man, but what I love about him, and it's funny, you got that 5-minute rule. Mm-hmm. So now he don't realize he's on the East Coast, I'm on the West Coast. This dude calls me every morning at 4 to 4:30. I don't think he has any idea that we're 3 hours behind. If he does, he does not care.
He don't care.
He don't care.
He don't care.
He doesn't care. But, the one thing he taught me, man, was just, mental toughness. He always talked about being disciplined, very detailed individual. He didn't waver off of what he believed in. He was very stern. Now, would he adjust? At times. And he did that 1 year with us.
I was going to get into that too, because I'm...
All right, guys, I'm going to stop the podcast here. There's still about 25 minutes left. I'm not going to be able to watch it with all of you guys. I've been live streaming for about 6 or 7 hours today. I'm starting to feel some sort of way. I kind of want to relax and get my mind off of all this stuff. But hey, you guys, if you want to talk about the quarterback situation and ask me some questions, get your questions in now. And hopefully I'll be able to watch the rest of this podcast while I'm lying down and resting, because I'm starting to feel some sort of way, guys. Forgive me. That's just my body and my health. And I'm not able to do this long term sometimes and certain days. But yeah, Dominique said, women these days. I feel you. I understand you guys. It is what it is. What's up, brother? You said I stopped doing that 15 years ago, Mikey. Yeah. I feel you talking about the money. Yeah, I don't loan money to anybody. I don't loan either. I got friends that owe me thousands of dollars. Then I just quit loaning it. Who said that? That was Rebel Raider. Yeah, I owe people money as well, and I feel so bad about it because I make mistakes, and then not that they loaned me money, but like I had some stuff going on, like competitions for prizes, and I ended up, they end up paying to play, and I end up owing them money because I ran the leagues um, for a couple of these years, and but I ran out of money, and I owe people still a little bit, for a couple of my fantasy leagues for the past year and a half, and I don't have the money to give, and I feel so bad about it because I'm the commissioner, and that means that I didn't deal with it correctly, and I feel some sort of way about it. But we've made arrangements. I'm paying everybody back. I owed people money last year; they all got paid back. But again, the cycle continues where I owe people money this year, and I cannot continue on this path because I cannot continue not even breaking even because the IRS came after me, pulled money out of my accounts. Unemployment did as well. I owe them. So even though I had the money in the accounts that I was going to pay everybody, they took this stuff out, man. They just came in and took it from me. So then now I don't have it to give back. So I feel some sort of way about it. So that was my mistake, and those are my faults, and I have to own up to it. But I'm transparent. I communicate with them as best as possible, and then whenever I got extra money, I send them $50, $100 toward whatever I owe them. Whenever I got extra money, but I feel really sad, and I think about it all the time. But everybody will get their stuff back, but I can no longer continue that path. So I got to rethink my fantasy football leagues and being the commissioner in a couple of them the next years because I ain't got the money. Because even though they give me the money, I don't always get what they give me. Um, some people, they have leftover money from the previous season, so they don't have to buy in again, or they won prizes from last season, and then I don't have the money, so they win money. They get money off of this year, and I give people gifts. Like if they to play in the league, if it cost them $100 or $200 or whatever, and they had a wedding, I give them a wedding gift. Or hey, you don't have to pay the commission or the dues. The $200 for the league. Why? That's my gift to you. Because you had a wedding, and that's my wedding gift to you. Oh, thank you. You get it. So, but I'm still behind in money at the end of that. Sometimes they've had children, and I gave them gifts to not pay in order for their child, because they had a baby, and I'm proud of them. But again, at the end of the year, when the money's due, I don't have it because not everybody paid it, and I made some bad decisions. I got to stop doing that. I got to stop doing that. So I've learned my lessons, and I will get through this. But I've been online live since what, 11:30 on 2 different channels. Yeah, 6 hours is a long time. Mikey, you have been streaming 6 to 7 hours. That would drive anyone insane. Can't blame you to take a break. Yeah, I'm gonna go relax. I wanted to go to the 99-cent store today and buy a bunch of little things, but hey, don't feel bad about it. As long as you're trying is all that matters. Nothing wrong with that. It's not your fault. This happened. People are evil. They all think we're all humans. I appreciate that, man. The kind words. Yeah, I've been having a rough couple days, rough couple years, mentally, physically, spiritually. Um, Even with my passion for the Raiders and my passion for doing anything online, my energy, my health, it's so tough just to be alive. But we're doing our best, and we're still here, so we got to thank God every day. That being said, I'm proud to be a Raider fan. I'm looking forward to the future. I'm excited to have some more live streams with you guys in the coming days, maybe toward the NFL draft, maybe get some cooking videos out to you guys and hanging out and talking Raider football. I don't want any more surprises. I don't want any more exposed type of things. I'm just tired of the drama from the media or the NFL towards the Raiders. But I do foresee us drafting a quarterback this year, and there's going to be plenty of scenarios where we're going to get a skilled, improvising, athletic, skilled quarterback that will possibly be a franchise quarterback in the future. And let's go over the rumors of all those people and players could be. Let's go over the scenarios for next week's live stream. Hopefully it'll be on Friday night as opposed to today on Saturday. But again, become a member, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell that lets you know when and if I go live. And thank you guys for being a part of the channel. And I'm looking forward. I'm really excited with Antonio Pierce, and I like what I'm seeing, and I like what he's saying, and I'm buying in. I'm really, really buying in, and I hope I'm not disappointed again. But this feels like the starting to something that is more real for the Raiders in terms of the Raider swagger and the Raider way. This feels more real in terms of our culture and Raider way than anything I've experienced, even with the return of John Gruden. This feels better to me, and I can proudly say that. I think we're on the right path. Hopefully it'll bring us championships, playoffs, and Super Bowls. But for right now, I just want positivity. I want a family. I want a foundation. And I want just wins, baby. And I'm proud as hell to say I'm a Raider. Thanks for chiming in, Dominique. It is what it is, Rebel Raider. Everybody that's been online, Steven, watch today's show. I appreciate you guys. God bless you. Have a healthy, happy, blessed day of life. And I'll see you on the next video. I'm out. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate you. Raiders for life.